Hello everyone, I am Pavitra Devi, working as Assistant Professor in the Department of Computer Science, Artificial Intelligence and Data Science in Dr. S.N.S. Rajeshmi College of Arts and Science. Now I am going to take the class about the thread libraries. First, what is thread libraries? Thread libraries is nothing but thread library provide the programmer within an application program interface for creating and managing the thread. There are two primary ways of implementing thread library, which are the following. The first approach is to provide a library entirely in user space with kernel support. All the code of the data structures for the library exist in the local function call in the user space and in the system call. The second approach is to implement a kernel level library supported directly by the operating system. In this case, the code and data structures for the library existing in the kernel space. Invoking a function in the application programming interface for the library typically result in a system call to the kernel. Next one, main thread libraries. POSIX thread, Win32 thread, Java thread, POSIX thread, pthread. The thread extension of the POSIX standard for may be provided as either as user level or kernel level library. Win32 thread, the Windows thread library, is the kernel level library available on the Windows system. Next one, Java thread. The Java thread application programming interface allows thread to be created and managed directly as the Java programs. Next one, thread issues. There are several threading issues when we are in the multi-threading environment. In this section, we will discuss the threading issues with the system call, cancellation of the thread, signal handling, thread pool, and thread specific data. Along with the threading issues, we will also discuss how these issues can be dealt or resolved or to retain the benefits of the multi-threaded programming environment. Next one, thread issues in operating system. What are the thread issues in operating system? System calls, thread cancellation, signal handling, thread pool, thread specific data. Next one, system call. System call, there are two system calls, fork and execution of the system call. Fork and execution system are the create the duplicate process of the invokes of fork. New duplicated process is called child process, and process invoking the fork is called the parent process. Both the parent process and the child process continue their execution from the institution, that is the just after the fork. Consider that the thread of the multi-threaded program has invoked the fork, so the fork would be created new duplicated process. Here the issue is whether the new duplicated process created by the fork will be duplicated all the thread of parent process or duplicate process would be single threaded. Next one, thread cancellation. The termination of the thread in the middle of its execution, it is termed as the thread cancellation. Let us understand this help of example. Consider that there are multi-threaded program which has let in multiple threads to search through the database for the some process. However, if one of the thread written within the desired result, the remaining threads will be cancelled. Now, thread which we want to cancel is termed as targeted thread. The thread cancellation can perform in two ways. First one is asynchronous cancellation. In asynchronous cancellation, a thread is employed to terminate the target thread instantly. Next one, deferred cancellation. The deferred cancellation, the target thread is scheduled to check itself at regular interval, whatever it can be terminated itself or not. Next one, thread pool. When the user requests for the web page to the server creates a separate thread to service request, although the server also has some potential uses. Consider if we do not have bounded on the number of active threads in a system and would be created new thread for every new request, then it would be finally result in exhausting of system resources. We also we are concerned about the time it will take to create a new thread. It, it must be not that case of the time required to create new thread is more than one time required by the thread to service the request and the getting discarded, as it would be result in wastage of the CPU time. The solution of this is user thread pool. The idea is to create finite number of threads when the process thread. The collection of thread is referred to as the thread pool. The threads stay in the thread pool. The wait until the assigned any request to be serviced. Next one, thread specific data. When the user specific for the web page to the server creates the separate thread service request, although the server also has some potential issues. Consider if we do not have bounded number of active thread in the system and bounded created new thread for every new request, then it would be finally result in execution of system. We also concerned about the time it will take create of the new threads. Thank you.